Super Dario World.
Now we are moving on to the AFC North. AFC North, historically, very, very tough division, and surprisingly, very interesting this offseason. They're usually kind of boring, but we'll begin with the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens finished off last season with a record of 12-5, winning their division, losing to the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs in brutal fashion, with probably their best pass catcher dropping a ball for an easy walk-in touchdown. It was brutal, but them's the football gods. So what things that they do this offseason to get better? Well, first off, they extended running back Derrick Henry, for 2 years, $30 million extension, which is a great, smart move. Derrick Henry looked nearly unstoppable last season. You kind of want to keep him there. Seems like a smart thing to do. Next, they extended tackle Ronnie Stanley, one of the better tackles in the league, for 3 years, $60 million. And they picked up cornerback Jair Alexander, who the Packers let go. Now, Jair Alexander is a really good cornerback. He's just a little bit injury prone, so a bit of a coin flip there, but if he stays on the field, should be pretty good. And finally, they extended wide receiver Rashad Bateman and fullback Patrick Ricard, who many consider to be the best fullback in the league. So good moves there. Honestly, the Ravens are a well-run organization. It's a really good team on paper. They're really difficult, very physical. They're difficult to play. They are very physical. So I expect them to be good. Last season, they started off a little slow because their defense was a little slow until they started to get things going. We'll see. They should still be, the class of that division. Next, the Steelers. Steelers finished off last season with a record of 10-7, and then, got humiliated in the playoffs, as tends to happen. But by a divisional rival, which makes it sting a little bit more. But now things are different. They got rid of quarterback. Oh my God, I forgot his name. I forgot the name. Russell Wilson. There you go. Oh my God. They let go of Russell Wilson and they picked up Aaron Rodgers. Now, this was one of the odder storylines during the offseason because they waited a really long time to sign Aaron Rodgers. Nobody knew why. Aaron Rodgers was being so coy about it. It was weird. However, they ended up signing him, and they also traded for wide receiver DK Metcalf. So it looked like, oh my God, they're going to have DK Metcalf, Pickens, Aaron Rodgers. All right, this seems interesting. And then George Pickens got traded to the Cowboys. So that was weird. So instead of having a really good wide receiver 1 and 2, you just have a wide receiver 1. I don't know. It's weird. They also picked up Darius Slay from the Philadelphia Eagles. So they got a bunch of really old players there, and they extended TJ Watt, who deserves it, star edge rusher. So they've done moves. Oh yeah, one more. They traded with the Dolphins for Jalen Ramsey, cornerback Jalen Ramsey, and they sent safety Minkah Fitzpatrick. So I don't know who exactly got better in that trade, or I guess they did. I don't know. Again, Jalen Ramsey's not a young player anymore, but I don't know. It's weird. The Steelers at least did moves. Usually they're the most boring team to watch. Now, at least they should be a little bit more interesting with Aaron Rodgers. They should be a little bit more interesting, at least for the first few weeks, unless they suck. If they suck, then whatever. But they got potential. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Next, we have the Cincinnati Bengals, who also did a lot of stuff during the offseason, and most of it not good. So they finished off the season with a record of 9-8 and did not make the playoff, which upset a lot of people because they're like, you're wasting another year of Joe Burrow's career, who's maybe the best quarterback in the NFL, blah, blah, blah. So what they do to help Joe Burrow this offseason, they re-signed T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, who everybody was like, they're gone. I mean, there's no way they're going to keep them, but they found a way to keep both of them. So their offense should be pretty good. The issue is the defense. So their star pass rusher, Hendrickson. I forget his first name, and I do believe it's Hendrickson. Let me just double check that. Oh my God. You know what? There's an issue with doing these so long back to back. Hendrickson, Bengals. Yeah, Trey Hendrickson. Yeah, I was right. Okay, so their star pass rusher did not want to participate in offseason stuff because he was like, "Hey, you guys need to pay me more because you promised that you would pay me more and that we would negotiate this offseason." And then the Bengals were like, "Yeah, you know what? Not really. We won't extend you." So it was a whole thing. And so the Bengals were like, "You know what? We're gonna draft somebody to replace you." And so they drafted Shamar Stewart. And then Shamar Stewart did not participate in offseason stuff because the Bengals refused to remove new language from the contract, basically that voids the entire contract if he gets into voids guaranteed money if he gets in trouble. It's weird. It was a very odd situation. In the end, how did they solve both of them? With money, but they solved it really late. Like, honestly, the Bengals looked really good with the T. Higgins stuff. They looked really bad with the defensive player stuff. Really, really bad. Petty, small, cheap. So how'd they solve the Shamar Stewart stuff? Basically, they gave him more guaranteed money or more money up front. So surprise, surprise, giving somebody $50,000 will make them accept language in their contract. Shocker. And for Trey Hendrickson, basically they decided we're going to give you more money this season, but then next season you're a free agent. So honestly, good for him. He was the sack king this past season, so make your money now while you can, and then you're free to go wherever you want next season. So like I said, good on them. The big question mark for the Bengals, to me, it's the head coach, Zach Taylor. He never has this team ready to go week one. Now, it doesn't help when the front office does not sign your players earlier on in the offseason. You can train more and have them ready to go. That's not very helpful. So the defense, first off, it looks like the Bengals are going to be like a giant glass cannon. Like, they will put up 50 points on you. The issue is that you will be able to put up 100 points on them. So who knows how it's going to go? It's not looking great on paper. I mean, theoretically it should be better, but who knows? And again, Zach Taylor, I'm not sure if he's the guy. Again, front office does not help, but I'm not sure if he's the guy, because you can't keep losing the first 4 games of the season and expect to make the playoffs. You just can't. That's not a winning strategy. In fact, it's a losing strategy, and that's why you keep losing. But whatever. Finally, we have the Cleveland Browns, who, again, a lot more of an interesting offseason than I would have expected. Last season, they ended with a record of 3rd and 14. They were in quarterback hell. Kevin Stefanski, I'm honestly shocked that he still has a job, and things are not looking great for this season, at least not from where I'm sitting. They had a pretty interesting quarterback competition, so they acquired Joe Flacco as a free agent. They traded for Kenny Pickett from the Philadelphia Eagles, and then they traded Kenny Pickett away to the Raiders. So the competition was really between, and then they drafted 2 quarterbacks, Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. Dylan Gabriel, I believe, in the 3rd round, and Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round. And this was a big, ginormous controversy because everybody expected Shedeur Sanders to be a top 10 pick in this year's draft, and he ended up falling all the way to the 5th round to the Browns. Honestly, I don't know why the Browns drafted him, considering that they drafted Dylan Gabriel in round number 3. But the Browns do what Browns do. I mean, in a way, it makes kind of sense. So if the Browns want to get out of quarterback hell, which has been the biggest problem for them, they threw everything they could at the wall. So they got the old quarterback, they got the younger quarterback, they got the new drafted quarterbacks. They were hoping that one of them sticks. And if none of them stick, fortunately, they traded a draft pick this year for a 1st rounder next year. So they have 2 draft picks to play with next year. So if they need to trade to get higher up, they can. So they have 2 1st rounders to trade and go up and get another quarterback. So do I trust them to get a good one? Not really, because they're the Browns. They just keep fucking this up. The ironic part is that for head coach Kevin Stefanski, he might get fired before any of this happens. So he might have set the team up to get a new quarterback for himself, and the GM too, by the way. but they might not get the opportunity to do it. So it's just weird. It's a weird situation. I know a lot of people are upset that about the Shedeur Sanders situation. I don't care. I don't care. I do not care one bit. I do not know Shedeur Sanders. I do not care. I've seen him play a little bit in the preseason. Preseason doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is during the season. I will judge him if he ever makes it to the field. The one thing that I do know is that you do not want quarterback controversy from your backups. You don't want drama from your backups. That was the issue with Colin Kaepernick. It was the issue with Joe Football. It was the issue with what's the dude from the Broncos? Tim Tebow. You don't want them to be more famous and attract more media attention than the starting quarterback. It's a pain in the butt. You don't want it. So I don't know what the Browns are going to do, but honestly, I don't care. They've been a terrible organization for a very long time. They tried to kill Baker Mayfield. They get what they get. However, they did one good thing that they did do is they extended defensive end Myles Garrett, so that was a good thing. It was actually funny because Myles Garrett was like, no, I want to leave so I can go play for a contender. It's not about the money. And then voila, they offered him enough money for him to stay. So shocker. It's surprise. Anybody surprised? Anybody? Bueller? No? Okay. Anyway, that's it for the AFC North. Let me just see really quick up here. So my predictions: Ravens stay up top. Oh man, the Steelers they're a coin toss. I have no idea what to expect from them. So I'm gonna go Bengals 2, Steelers 3, Browns 4. Now I do believe in Aaron Rodgers. I do. You know what? No, I'm gonna stick that way. Whatever. My predictions don't really matter anyway, but that's just for fun. Anyway, speaking of just for fun, if you want to join my Pick'em League, you can just go to NFLPicksPage.com. The pool's name is SDW League. The password for the league is SDW2025. If you want to join, you're free to join. It's a free league. I put in $100 and winner takes all. So again, free to play. If you want to bet something, you can. It's honor system 100%. So winner take all. If you want to put in $5, 20, 50, 100, you can. Winner takes all. That's last year. I won the league, so nobody took any money because it seemed unfair. But I think we were up to $300. I just didn't charge anybody because it seems weird and unfair for me to win it. So if I win, nobody takes anything. But if you guys win, you at least get $100. So that's the bare minimum. If you want to join, you just have to again follow those steps. You don't even have to notify me. It'll be automatic. Just put in your picks every single week. The page notifies you. It's actually pretty cool. It's been very convenient.